Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we will be discussing your grade 10 lesson 2. It is business environment. So let's start the lesson. Okay, so the main three parts we need to discuss under this lesson are the introduction to business environment, internal and external environment, and the SWOT analysis. Okay, so first we are going to discuss about the introduction to business environment. Before moving to the business environment, first we'll see what is known as environment. So if you take for an example yourself or a person, there are different things which surrounds a person. Maybe your family, maybe your neighborhood, maybe your school, maybe your friends, maybe the climate, or maybe the animals, the plants. There are several things which are surrounding you. These people have different influences on you, and they have different expectations from you. So these are the things we call as normally an environment which is related to a person. So similar to that, a business environment is the environment in which the factors affecting businesses are activated. If we consider a business, there are different factors which are affecting to the business. So the place where these factors are activated, we call it as the business environment. Or another definition is that the environment that contains the various factors that are subject to influence in the process of implementation of the business activities is called the business environment. What does that mean? Like, for a business to conduct its activities, to implement different decisions, to implement different projects, there are several factors which are influence into this. There are several factors which are restraining you from the business activities. So the motivating forces as well as the restraining forces, all the forces and factors which are affecting to the business activities are called as the business environment. Business environment can be mainly classified into two parts as external environment and internal environment. So if we take the internal environment, owners, managers and employees are considered as the main parties who are within the internal environment. And as you can see, if we take the external environment, the customers, suppliers, competitors, legal environment, economic environment, global environment, technological environment and political environment are considered as the parties and the forces which are acting in the external environment. Okay, so now we will be discussing the internal environment and the external environment separately. First, we'll see what is meant by internal environment. Different parties and forces acting within a business and affecting a business are known as internal environment. So if we take a business, there are different parties who are within the business, who are conducting activities inside of a business. So for example, if we take owners. So owners are the people who are supplying different required capital to a business. So they are the people who are initiating the business. So the financial strength, the business knowledge and the experience of these owners will lead the business to a success. So owners are a very important factor who are affecting to a business. And if we take managers, so managers are the people who are implementing the decisions of the owners. They are the people who are responsible to build a good relationship with the customers and with the employees. So from that we can see managers also have an influence on the business success. When we consider employees, so employees are the people who are performing the task, different tasks assigned to them based on their skills and competencies. So the employees' dedication, their efficiency, their effectiveness as well as their good attitudes are different factors which affect it for the successfulness of a business. So as you can see, all these internal parties have a influence to the business. So we have to pay a good attention about this. Now we'll see what is known as the external environment. Different parties and forces acting outside the business and affecting a business are known as the external environment. So if we take a business, there are parties who are acting outside the business, but still they can have a major influence on your business. For example, if we take customers, so they are not inside the business. So they are the people who are buying goods and services from a business. So the survival of a business depends on the customers. If the customers are not buying goods and services from your business, you can't survive. You can't have a profit. So businesses have to clearly identify what are the needs and wants of the customers, and you have to satisfy them appropriately. So a business have to be very thorough with the buying patterns, the preferences of the customers, like that. So these things changes over time. So you have to be very careful about these things, because these are the things which are affecting to your business. And if we consider competitors, the competitors are the parties who are producing goods or services which are similar to yours. So the competitors' business activities, the price they mark, the quality of their products, the different marketing techniques used by them will definitely affect your business. If they are providing quality goods, high quality goods at a lower price, the similar thing to your products, then the customers will go to that competitor. So you have to be very careful with your competitors, because they have a major influence on your business. And another example is suppliers. So suppliers are the parties who are providing the different required raw materials, and also there are different other services to a business. So if the suppliers are providing your raw materials at the correct time, the services at the correct time, and providing quality raw materials, that will decide the quality of your output, the quality of your products. So the supplier is also a major influencing party. And if we take the political environment, so in a country, the political environment is usually referred to the government. So the governments have a major impact on each and every business, because they are the parties who are making the policies. So like if we take, there are policies like fiscal policy, the infrastructure development policies. So these type of policies will definitely have a bigger impact on your businesses. And another example is the legal environment. So this is also a major influencing factor to any business. So legal environment means the different types of laws, regulations, like that. These have been enforced to protect consumers as well as the manufacturers and the business community. So there are acts like the Companies Act, the Shop and Office Employees Act, like that. So these have a higher influence on the business activities. So a business should be very thorough with these things. So a business, for it to be successful, they should have a better understanding of both the internal and the external environment relating to it. Okay, so under the external environment, technological, economic and global environment are considered as very crucial and important factors which are affecting to the business in the present context. So we will be discussing these separately. First, we will look at the technological environment. The environment comprising the technological implements that influence the implementation of business activities, like modern technological tools, machinery, modern methodologies, new inventions, etc., is called the technological environment. So simply, a technological environment is the one which have the different technological implements, and these factors influence to the business activities. So for example, if we take the businesses at present, most of the businesses are technologically driven. their transactions, their payment systems, like that. So they are using modern tools, modern machinery, different methodologies, like different systems to conduct their business activities. So the changes in the technological environment is very crucial for a business, because if we consider the present scenarios, technology is changing rapidly. It is very dynamic. So a business should adapt to these technological changes in order to be successful. So we can take, for example, earlier the businesses has used telephones to communicate with the customers, to deal with their suppliers, like that. But if we take at present, they are using emails, like that. So these are very quick, like rather than the telephones and other communication techniques they have used. Within a glimpse of a second, you can send a mail, not to a one person but to a large group of people, like that. And also another example is the fabric manufacturers used simple manual weaving machines in the history, but today they use modern machines to manufacture quality fabric at a low cost within a short period of time. So at earlier, different manual machines were used in the garment industry, the fabric manufacturing sector. But if we consider today, there are huge garments employing thousands of people. They are using very advanced machines to manufacture quality clothing. And with these advanced machines, they can produce quality clothing at a very low cost and at a very short time period. So this is the benefit of the technological environment. And also we can take another example, like if we consider the past business activities, they promote or they advertise their businesses using postal mails, like that. But if we consider today, they use email addresses, they have websites, social media accounts. So those are the things they are using for promotions and advertisements. So we can see how the change in technology has been influencing the businesses over the past up to now. It will be changing rapidly. So the businesses have to adapt accordingly. Now we'll see several influences of technological environment on business activities. So as example, if we take the invention of modern machinery and their use. So at past they have used very outdated machineries and very time consuming, very costly and very energy consuming machineries. But if we consider the modern machineries, they are very efficient. So with these modern machinery, there is a possibility of greater production. We can produce a large amount of products in a very small time, within a very small time period, and made high quality products, as well as the quality of the products has been increased with these modern machineries. Possibility of pursuing maximum profits. Also, these machines are designed in a way to reduce waste and get the maximum out of their raw materials. So you can have a maximum profit by using these modern machineries. And the other one is development of the field of transport. If we consider the past scenarios, they have used very time consuming transportation methods, like that. But now the transportation field also very developed. We have different modes of transportation. So they are very helpful in saving our time and the security of the quality. These are the ways the field of transportation has developed and influenced the business activities. Development of communication technology. So as I have explained earlier, the past businesses did their communications using telephones and different mails, postal mails, like that. But if we consider the present scenarios, we are using email, Skype, and different online methods are there to communicate with your customers, suppliers, your investors, like that. So there is the possibility of speedy access. You can access anything at a glimpse of a second and attract consumers. So if we consider the present consumers, they are very busy, they have tight schedules. So with the development of the communication technology, they can communicate with the businesses very quickly. They can have very quick conversations. So it helps to attract the consumers. And the final one is the use of different production methods. So unlike in past, there are different production methods to produce a particular good. So what happens is it will increase the efficiency, the quality, the productivity. So it will in turn help in increasing the trade. So these are the methods, the technological environment influencing the business activities. I hope you got a better understanding. Okay, now we will be discussing about the economic environment. Economic environment consists of economic factors that affect business. The government of a country is mainly responsible for setting economic policies. So simply, economic environment is where there are different economic factors which influence business, like the interest rate, the inflation, the level of employment, the income distribution, savings, foreign exchange rate, and so on. There are different economic factors. So the government of a country is the responsible party to set these economic policies. And now we will be discussing these economic factors one by one. Interest rate. It is the interest rate given for bank deposits and charged for bank loans. When you are depositing money in a bank, you are given an interest. And also, when you are obtaining a loan from a bank, you are charged an interest. So that is the general interest rate. Inflation. Inflation is the continuous increase in the price levels of goods and services. When the price level of goods and services are increasing continuously, we call that situation as the inflation. Income distribution. It is how the national income of a country has been distributed among its people. That means in a year, how the national income of the whole country has been distributed fairly among all the people in the country. We call it as the income distribution. Level of employment. If everyone expecting a job receives a suitable job, a country will achieve a full employment level. So when we consider a country, there are people who are employed and there are unemployed people. So level of employment means when everyone who are expecting a job are given a suitable job based on their knowledge, skills, we consider that as the country is within full employment level. So this is another economic factor which affect the businesses. And then the international relations. International relations are the relationships existing between countries. These relationships are built up through trade zones and trade agreements. So, if we consider our country, there are different other countries who have relationships with our country, who are making relationships and who are engaging different activities with our country. So, if we consider, there are different types of trade agreement, SAFTA, like that. So through these different trade agreements, the different trade zones, the countries maintain different relationships regarding different matters. So these things also affect to the businesses. Foreign exchange rate. It is the rate at which the currency of one country is exchanged with the currency of another country. So for example, if we take the foreign exchange rate, if we take how many rupees we have to give for $1. So these days it could be 185 to 190 or 95. So that is the foreign exchange rate. Savings. It is the proportion of income that individuals keep without spending on consumption. Higher savings of a country, the higher will be the amount of funds available for the investment. Savings means the amount of money you are setting aside without consuming, without spending on the consumption. So we say that if your savings are higher, if the savings of a country is higher, then the investment would be higher. So if the savings is high, we can set aside more amount of funds for investment. So this also affects the businesses. So accordingly, all these economic factors have a wider influence to the activities of a business. So a business should be very thorough with these economic factors because these are also changing continuously. So I hope you got a better understanding about the economic environment and the economic factors. Okay, and then we will see about the influences of economic environment on business activities. For example, if we take the interest ratio, like if we consider when the interest rate is less, so it is a motivation for the businesses to obtain loan and expand their businesses. So with the reduction of interest rate, the businesses will be obtaining loans and expanding their businesses so that it will help to develop the businesses. That is a one influence. Change in the cost of goods and services. So when the cost of the goods are high, the expenses the customers has to bear are also increasing. Then the government or the relevant authorities are taking different actions to control these price levels. And the levy of tax on goods. So there are different types of taxes which are charged on different goods. So with the imposition of these taxes, the business expenses can be increased. So if we consider these influences, there can be favorable influences as well as unfavorable influences to the business. So a business should be very aware of these economic factors as well to make their business successful and to develop their businesses. So I hope you understand about the economic environment, the different economic factors and the influences of this economic environment on the business activities. Okay, now we are moving on to discuss about the final factor under the external environment. It is the global environment. So what is this global environment? So you may have heard about the term globalization. So it is a highly discussed term at present. So globalization is the mutual relationship among countries in terms of economic, social and cultural dimensions. So if we can consider past, the countries were separate. They did their activities separately. But with the globalization, all the countries in the world have come together. They are like a global village. We call it like that, a global village. So with the technology development, with the communication development like that, the entire world has become a global village. There are no limits. There are several limits, but they are very connected with each other. So the distance among the people, the nations are reduced. So these have different impacts on the businesses. The globalization. So this global environment have positive impacts as well as negative impacts on domestic businesses. So these domestic businesses are the businesses which are operating within a country. So there are different positive impacts we will be discussing now. Possibility to obtain latest technology. So when we are dealing with the other countries, we can obtain their very advanced technology to our domestic businesses. So it is a plus point. Possibility to obtain quality raw materials from abroad. So if we consider our country, there are like very low quality raw materials. So when we are dealing with the other countries, we can get maybe it could be a little bit higher cost, but we can get quality raw materials from the other countries. Possibility to obtain efficient machines. Also, there are several countries who have a high technology and they produce very efficient and very good machines. So we can obtain these machines from the other countries. Inflow of foreign capital. So we can get investors to invest in our businesses. We can get foreign investors to invest in our businesses. So it is a very good advantage of this global environment. And the possibility to find foreign markets for domestic goods and services. So another positive impact is that we can give our goods and services for the foreign market. We can send our goods to the foreign markets. We can sell there and we can have a foreign customer base for our products. So this is also another positive impact from the global environment. Now we'll see what are the negative impacts from the global environment on domestic businesses. The first one is creating a highly competitive environment. So when we are working in a global environment, we are working with the global markets, we have a very high competition among the domestic businesses as well. And then domestic skilled workers migrating to foreign countries. Like if we consider our country, the payment, the salaries and the wages for our workers is very low compared to other countries. So mostly the skilled workers, the graduates, after they are graduating, they are hoping to go abroad to get a better pay for their service. Instability of the existence of domestic businesses. So when the foreign businesses also come to our country and the foreign interactions happen, it is very unstable for the domestic businesses. They may not be able to cope with the competition from the foreign businesses like that. The negative changes on the local culture. So apart from the other factors, when other countries are interacting with our country, there are several different cultural factors which are affecting to our country. So it may be negatively changing on our local culture. So these can be considered as the negative impacts from the global environment on our domestic businesses. So I hope you got a better understanding about the global environment, the globalization, and what are the positive and negative impacts of global environment on domestic businesses. Okay, so with that we have covered up to 2 parts under this lesson. So now we are moving on to the third part, the importance of studying environment of a business. So when we consider the business environment, it is classified as external and internal. So both these internal and external environmental factors have a positive or a negative impact on a business. So a business should be well aware of the different factors which are affecting to the businesses. So if we consider the internal environment, through the studying of the internal environment, a business is able to identify the strengths and weaknesses of a business. And also the opportunities and the different threats available for a business can be identified by analyzing its external environment. So this is what we call as the SWOT analysis. So this is the reason why a business should conduct a SWOT analysis to identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats for a business. So we will be discussing these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats separately. Okay, now we'll see what are considered as the strengths of a business. The first one is availability of adequate capital. If a business is having an adequate capital to initiate it, to conduct its activities, it is a strength for a business. They can do their activities without any issue. So it is a strength. Experience of the managers. So if the managers of the business are very experienced and they have very good knowledge about the market, the other business activities and the managing of your products and services, the managing of your business, and they are very logical, so it is a strength for your business. And then the specialized knowledge and dedication of the employees. So if your employees have very good knowledge, if they are very dedicated to your business, so it also can be considered as a strength for your business. Specialized production method. If your organization have very special production method which can reduce waste, which can reduce the time spent, which can increase the quality, so it is a strength. Having a recognized brand name. So there are businesses who has a very good brand name, who has a very good reputation. So there are people who are specifically buying only that brand. So if you have a recognized brand name, it is also considered as a strength of your business. So these are the things we call as strengths. Now we'll discuss about the weaknesses of a business. The first one is business knowledge of owners is not sufficient. If the owners of a business do not have the specific business knowledge to operate their business, to initiate it and to maintain it, it will fail the business. So it's a weakness. Limited financial capability of the owners. So if the owners cannot give the adequate capital, adequate financial resources to initiate the business and to maintain it, it will lead to the failure of a business. Scarcity of trained workers. So if the employees, the workers in your business are not well trained, they do not have the relevant capability, relevant knowledge, so it will also be a weakness of your business. Knowledge about new technologies not being updated. So if we consider the present businesses, they have to deal in a highly technologically driven environment. So if your business is not updated about the new technologies, you can't compete with the competitors. So it will be your weakness. And the negative attitudes of the workers. If your workers are not dedicated, if they have a negative attitudes, if they are not working towards achieving the business objectives, that will also be a weakness of your business. Geographical location of the business is unfavorable. So apart from the other factors, if your business is located in an unfavorable geographic location, you don't have access to your raw materials, to your customers like that, so it will also be a weakness. So these are considered as the weaknesses of a business. So what a business should do is they should work on to enhance their strength, and they should try to make their weaknesses their strengths. They should try to reduce their weaknesses and to improve them as your strengths. So that is what a business should do through the analysis of their internal environment. Now we'll discuss about the opportunities available for a business. The first one is changes in the lifestyle of the consumers. So if we consider the present scenarios, the people are more oriented toward healthy lifestyles. So if you are a business who are providing healthy food like that, so this is an opportunity for you to get a good customer base. It's an opportunity. Introducing low interest loans by the government. So if the government is giving low interest rate for your loans, charging low interest, so it is an opportunity for you to grab a loan and expand your businesses. Providing tax incentives for businesses. So sometimes the government is giving tax redemptions, tax exemptions for the businesses. So that is an opportunity for you. Designing new cities. So when new cities are designed, you can expand your businesses to those areas. So you can get a new customer base. Constructing highways. When highways like the infrastructure facilities are developing, it is a good opportunity for the businesses to expand. You can expand your businesses to many other customers. It will be convenient for the customer. So it is also considered as another opportunity. So these are the factors which can be considered as opportunities available for a business. Now we are moving on to discuss about the threats affecting to the businesses. The first one is new competitors entering into the industry. When a competitor enters to a particular industry, it may lead to reduce your market share. And also, if that particular competitor is providing a better product or a service than yours, the customer will go to that competitor. So that will be a very degrading position for your business. And natural disasters. If you consider the situation occurred due to tsunami, many businesses have faced many difficulties due to that. So natural disasters also affecting very negatively to the businesses. Imposition of international trade embargo. There are different international trade policies affecting to businesses. So these are most of the time they are very negatively affecting to the businesses. So it is also a threat. Difficulties in adapting new technological methods. So as I said earlier, the world is now a global village. So there are different new technological methods going on around the world. So if your business is unable to adapt to these changing technological methods, it is also considered as a threat for your business. So these are the factors which we consider as threats affecting to a business. So for a business to exploit the best of their business, what they have to do is to enhance their strengths and opportunities so that they can achieve the required growth of the business. And also they have to take necessary steps to avoid or to minimize the weaknesses and the threats they are facing so that they can ensure the stability of their business. Okay, so with that, we have come to the end of lesson 2, business environment. Under this lesson, we have discussed the introduction to business environment, internal and external environment, and this SWOT analysis. So I hope you got a better understanding of the whole lesson. And if you guys are watching my videos, you can subscribe to our channel so that you can get an update when we are posting a new video. So see you guys soon with the lesson 3.